Hi, this is Dr. Jeff Hanna from Atlas Chiropractic in North Lakes, Brisbane. We're going to continue our discussion about stress in part 2 of our video series. In the previous one, we were talking and comparing the way that the central nervous system works to a computer. And at the end of that video, I had talked about how if the brain is being bombarded with too much information as a protective mechanism from causing the whole system from short-circuiting, what it will actually do is it will cause the joints of the spine to misalign. Now, this one here, it's a very interesting hypothesis and belief that people have about how our body actually works. It's based in part on research that was done in the 1970s, where they wanted to know, is this premise that chiropractors hold is true? That if there is tension or something that's affecting a nerve itself, it's going to actually interfere and decrease its function. Now, what the researchers found is that it was about 5 to 10 millimeters of mercury, which is oftentimes equivalated to the weight of a 10-cent coin, that was more than sufficient in order to reduce the function of a nerve by 50%. So how and why would the brain actually use something like this as a protective mechanism? Remember that when we're looking at a model of the spine, the problem is not the bones, it's what's actually happening on the inside. And particularly as we're looking through the region of the upper neck, there are thick ligaments that tether onto the inside of the spinal canal, connecting the vertebra with the cord itself. And so if there is a misalignment or a movement of these joints, what it's actually going to do is exert and transmit that tension onto the cord. Now, if it's there for just a short period of time, like if we have our head turned to the side, no biggie. But if we have our head in that position for a prolonged period, or if something has misaligned in that way, it causes a stretching effect on the cord itself. And if we've already identified and we know that tension on the cord is going to decrease its function, what it means is that there's going to be a reduction in those nerve impulses going up to the brain and back down to the body. And this again can be used as a protective mechanism. We don't have the option in the physical body to hit the hard reset or control-alt-delete like we do on the computer. On the other hand, the computer does not have a way to protect itself if there is an overload of information. So the way that we believe the brain is working and using the spine is it's using the spine as a modulator, causing the different vertebrae to shift in this way, creating tension on the cord itself to dampen these impulses going up, so that the whole system does not fry. Now, this seems like a pretty good and pretty intelligent mechanism, provided two things. Number one, that the stress is not chronic, and number two, that when that stress is actually reduced, that those misalignments will actually come back to proper alignment. And the problem we often have is that those two things do not always happen. This will be the topic of the next video that we'll be doing, so I hope you've enjoyed this little one. If you need to go back and watch part 1, you can go ahead and click the link to do so, or you can also then continue on to part 3 of this discussion again on stress, the central nervous system, and the relationship with the upper neck. This is Dr. Jeff at Atlas Chiropractic, restoring the cause of health from above down and inside out.